Hello and welcome. So now we're going to be looking at a very forensic level of overview for a student. So I'm going to go into this student here, which is the one that we use most in most of the demos, and just showing you really what you can do when you're kind of clicking into a student. So the first page that you have really gives you quite a long summary of what they've done. So this is the overview. So the learning schedules, I can see if she's created one for herself or how many have been created for the admins. This one has been created a lot simply because this is the one I use for demos. So she has 127 different schedules to work on. I can see exactly how many answers and things that she's actually created and see obviously where she's imported any videos or created any subcategories. And again, that if that instance, that might just show me what interest that person has. Now, in the wider sense, I can look at all the different courses and how much of the videos that they've actually covered from any of the different items that I want. And then the rest of these give me an overview and into different sections as well. If I go to the graphs, I can actually pick what I want to see, how much she watches of, say, creating a safer school, and it'll give me that by day. If I want to look at to as well, like how she's watched it on her own or how she's watched it as part of a class, it gives me that information too. And I can pick again how many days she's watched over in the last 6 months. We'd assume, yes, it's a lot higher than it is just when I'm looking at the last 14 days. Now, the next item is really, really important because that gives me individual access to control what this person will have access to in terms of subjects. Now, depending on how your system's set up, this could be all of the guide subjects, or it could be the ones that you have as well. So even after you've set them something, you can switch them on or off the next time that the learner logs in, the new forces would have taken hold. But remember, if you do run the risk of not allowing them to see things if you untick them, so make sure you've discussed that with the mentee first or done it before they actually access for the first time. The next thing you're able to see is looking at their schedules. All the different schedules have been set. So in the last video, we set this half-term 1 CPD schedule. And if I go and I view that, you can see that was set up that every single day or every single instance, it's broken down all the videos into one video a week, and it will control and move that way through. So you can see exactly what they're studying and how much progress they've had within it. And of course, as a mentor, you will, if you're the ones who sets them, you are also able to delete those options for them as well, if you're the ones who set. Now, this is something that we built then for a university, and the element that we're looking at here is the watch history. And so it shows you very, very in depth how much something's been watched. So you see 26 times when it was most recently watched, and also within that, how much and at which point of the video is watched. So you can really have a deep, deep dive into how much a student is learning or focusing, or if they're just trying to get to the answers, etc., etc., etc. It gives you a good indication. The next part is probably the most commonly used one here. You can go straight to the learner's dashboard, not your dashboard, the learner's dashboard, and you can go into any one of their folders. And once you're inside their folders, you can go into the workbook, and then you can start to comment as a mentor. So it's another way of getting to where we were with the alert system. But again, you just have that choice of doing it. Clicking on alerts allows you to see the items that they've actually put in. And again, I invite you to think about the elements that you have here in terms of how you want to respond and what you want to respond, or what you want to see and how you want to kind of allocate your marking. And then lastly, you come to the conversations, and you'll see here with the conversations, there can be back and forth between the teachers and the learner, obviously assigning workbook items or doing schedules that are set, etc., etc. And so you have that constant back and forth that you might have with the learner, which comes up there, but also comes up in the middle of that space too. And so that's what you can see with every single student in terms of that area. Really, really forensic, and you get a good individual basis and individual understanding of what's going on.